Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Raw Approach. I'm Dr. Woods, and we're just going to go ahead and dive straight on into this show. I have with me Mr. Adrian Cartledge. I'm going to have Mr. Adrian Cartledge to come and introduce himself, and we're just going to dive on into the show. Adrian, go ahead and introduce yourself for the folks.
Hey, what up, family, man? It's your boy A.O. with 2eighty3, the podcast. I'm known as Adrian Cartledge, but my name is Adrian O'Neal Cartledge, so I term the phrase A.O. And A.O. stands for Adrian O'Neal, right? So that's me, man. I'm born and raised in South Carolina. I'm an HBCU grad. I have over 20 years experience working in the juvenile justice field. And I birthed this podcast, man. I'm here to tell you guys all about it tonight.
That's what's up, big dog. Thank you for being with us, man. What's going on in South Carolina on today?
Hey, big things popping, man. 803 fresh. We killing the game right now. Boots on the ground. Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Hey, we killing the game right now.
Don't do that, man. I hate these guys, man. I hate these guys.
Hey, we killing the game right now, man. Big things been brewing in South Carolina, man.
That's what's up.
We just can represent our state, man, and doing it big, right?
That's all we can do, man. That's all we can do. Is it, before we go into questions or anything like that, man, is there anything specifically that you want the people in the audience to know about A.O.?
A.O., man, like I said, man, A.O. I was born in a small town, McCormick, South Carolina. Population less than 10,000.
I'm about to say less than 10. Good Lord.
Less than 10,000. 2eighty3 is the actual highway that I grew up on. And everybody got a highway, right? Everybody grew up somewhere. So that highway represents the transition of life for me, man. That highway have led me to many different places, different rooms, different environments, and I give homage to my hometown. And I give homage to the Highway 2eighty3. So that's how I birthed this. And I pay respect to the HBCU, man. What made me go on this journey, really, Dr. Woods, is I heard a comment in the news earlier this year where they said they was trying to remove Black history. And that upset me. I'm a student of history, man. I love history.
Yeah.
Specifically African-American history, man. And I was like, what can I do to help preserve history, right? And I've always been fond of HBCUs. Go Dogs. So, hey, here I am, man. So I'm ready. Whatever questions you got, let's jump in it.
All right. Well, let's go straight to it, man. How does the college experience, from your perspective, prepare you for life?
HBCU, man. HBCU graduates have a different swag about themselves. And that swag comes from no matter what institution you attended and graduated from, they teach us that tenacity, right? They teach us how to become ourselves, man. They teach us how to sit in any type of room with any type of person. So it created who you see right now, right? It created Adrian Cartledge that worked in the juvenile justice industry for over 20 years. It created everything I am, man. And just that experience alone, man, it's if you never attended a HBCU, it's kind of hard to describe. It's just that feeling of community, man, that support, that, historically, us African Americans, we known for that term, the crabs in a bucket, right? That doesn't exist at a HBCU. You put a young person on an HBCU campus, man, and you got a campus full of adults and their peers motivating them and pushing them forward and trying to get them to be the best version of themselves they could possibly be. So that HBCU experience means everything to me, man.
Okay. So did you, besides, where did you go, South Carolina State?
South Carolina State, the South Carolina State. Put some respect on that now.
Boy, you don't get off this. Do y'all call it the South Carolina State down there?
Yeah, that's what we call it, the South Carolina State.
Okay. But, well, that's not the title of it, though.
Yeah, it's South Carolina State University.
But the love for the HBCUs, man, that's a good thing. So with you being an HBCU, Have you ever gone to any other schools like a PWI for maybe a master's program, anything like that?
Oh, yes. I got both of my masters from a PWI, Bethel University in
Okay.
McKenzie, Tennessee. So I've had that PWI experience, classroom experience, campus experience, but it's unmatched when I compare it to my HBCU experience.
That's what I was about to ask you. What do you think the difference is?
At a PWI, you're typically a number, you're a student, right? But at HBCU, you family.
And let me ask you this. Do you think you get that different perspective because you went to the PWI as a graduate student compared to an undergraduate student?
I do. I think it shows me both worlds, right? I was able to sit in classrooms with different nationalities at a PWI, opposed to 90% of our students being African Americans at a HBCU.
Okay.
But don't get it twisted, man. You do have other races that attend HBCUs. It's just not in the magnitude of what you would be exposed to at a PWI.
So then this is going to take me back with your college experience, and then being at the PWIs. What do you feel that your college experience really prepared you for?
Life. And I think that's the difference between PWIs and HBCUs. I feel like, and I didn't do undergrad at a PWI, so I don't really know that experience, but I feel like PWIs prepare you for the educational journey, prepare you for your career of choice, right? HBCUs does that, but it also prepares you for life, man. Life in general. So if you ever struggled, you struggled at a HBCU. If you ever had hard times, you had them hard times at a HBCU. If you ever had successes, you experienced those successes at a HBCU. So it's just a different vibe, man.
Well, I'm going to disagree with that because I went to a PWI. And as an undergraduate, and everything that you identify, and that's where the perspective come from, because all the people that we went there with, I mean, we felt that we had to become a family. We struggled together, we learned together, and now we sit here and we try to help continue to motivate others and encourage others, to go to. I'm from Austin Peay State University, to go Govs, you know what I'm saying? So I feel that it's that college life, and I think it depends on the person. If you go there wanting to get everything that the college has to offer, I think you can get it. But if you go, like I have some younger people that have gone to college and they were just in their rooms and they studied. They really didn't get that college experience. So I don't think that whether they did that at the HBCU or they did it at a PWI, I don't think that they can actually vouch for what that experience is. So at the end of the day, you got to be willing to get in there and learn and deal with the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, because I don't know no school where you're going to go and it's going to be a cakewalk.
Oh, education journey is not a cakewalk at all, right? Yeah. And I agree with what you're saying, but you speak like a PWI graduate and not an HBCU grad, because the difference is you guys had to create your own community. You guys had to come in and say, okay, we're African American, we have some common interests in, you looked at the Greek life, you looked at those things, and you guys naturally had to kind of come together because it was just y'all, right? But at the HBCU, think about it made Austin Peay, right? I don't know how many students y'all had, but the African American population probably made up less than 15-20% of that whole student body population. Think about going to a campus with 6,000-7,000 African Americans. So that whole thing is different. And you're right.
Yeah.
Anybody's journey is
individualized.
Yeah, anybody's journey is individualized.
Yeah.
But that kind of goes back to the core of why I created 2eighty3, the podcast, too, is that community.
And that's what I want to get into next. So
it's that community. It's that your experience that you had at Austin Peay, right? When you say we had to come together, we had to create our own core, it's that community. So I just want to create communities, man. Communities is the foundation of the African American heritage, right? So you got to think, no matter where you grew up at, like I grew up in South Carolina, you grew up in Tennessee,
Nashville.
right? Nashville. So right, you had makeshift community. And those communities were powerful back then, bro. Like you can get everything you needed within probably a 5 to 10 minute mile radius of your community. You didn't really have to go outside of that community. You can get the religion.
And back then, it was strongly encouraged that you didn't go outside that community.
Exactly. So it's just that sense of community, man. So I guess you was asking like how did I come up with that, right? So I wanted to recreate that community, man. I want to connect HBCU grads with other HBCU grads, right? That's my target market, but I also want to connect people with people. So the
information. We're talking about the 2eighty3, the podcast.
Yeah. I want to connect HBCU grads with HBCU grads, but I want to talk about relevant information that can benefit any and everybody. Okay. It's not just going to be your traditional interviews, right? So you remember growing up in Nashville? You grew up in East Nashville?
West Nashville.
What was your zip code?
37209.
37209. Okay. So you grew up in that area code, right? You remember sitting on your grandparents' porch or sitting outside on the corner or sitting at school at the lunch table or just being around other peers, other people that look like you? And just
we talk about that all the time.
So think about that conversation, right? Think about that conversation. Think about the seeds that were planted in your life that you didn't even know that was being planted at that time that impacted your life, right? So I want to have that real conversation. I can remember and recall as a kid, man, you know how your dad, your parents used to say, hey, you can sit in here, but you better not say nothing, right? So that automatically made me become a sponge. So I used to sit there and hear them talk about politics or talk about the things that was going on in the church, talk about the things that was going on in our local community and things like that, right? And I used to hear them giving each other advices. And I remember my pops had a conversation with one of his younger brothers about going to college. And I remember him instilling in him like the importance of getting that college education. So I want to recreate that front porch, that Sunday dinner type conversations and be able to take that information and pass it on so someone else can benefit from that, bro.
Well, right there, I think you hit a very valid point that was taught back then, especially as young men, is that you might have gone places with the men, with your uncles, with your grandfathers, and all that type stuff, but you was given set rules. You gonna come up in here, but ain't nothing for you to talk about. So you learn, you watch how they moved, how they talked, how they interacted when things wasn't so good, how they was able to work things out, or they soon work things out. I mean, it's so many bigger things, and that's why I think I like your podcast because I was looking at it. I think you were talking to somebody that owned a tie shop or something like that.
Correct.
I was watching today, and the importance of the grassroots. And that's what I identified what you're doing is you going all the way back to the grassroots because we let's say you're talking about working in the juvenile detention center. We always talk about we want people to come in and that to provide services to the youth that really got grassroots effort. But everybody don't have grassroots efforts.
Correct.
A lot of people don't know what that means though. You know what I'm saying? Correct. So as we are discussing it right now, it looks different, but it looks the same in so many different perspectives.
Yeah, correct. So you're right. So that's that. And my theme, man, is connect, reflect, and evolve. Right. Yeah. So it's really just that connection and reflecting, man. Like we have a lot of memories, bro. Like I can sit down now and talk to you, and I met you later on in life. Right. But we have shared life experiences that we'll never forget. And those memories are going to always be how me and Dr. Woods met each other. You see what I'm saying? And I think sometimes we overlook the importance of that reflection, right? And I'm a firm believer, man, we got to evolve and move forward, right? but our past, our experience, our history, our roots help shape and mold us to how we're going to move forward in life.
Absolutely. I'm with it. And I agree. So let me ask you this. Let's just dive on into something else. How do you feel the impact of true friendship has, the impact on your life, dealing with true friendship?
True friendship, man. That's huge, man. I'm real big on friendship. Huge on it. Like my core group of friends, I would say I got less than 10. But each one of those guys, man, we have some type of shared life experience. Either I grew up with them in McCormick and we attended the same high school, or I graduated. I came up through South Carolina State with them, and we graduated from South Carolina State together. Bro, it's no new friends right now, man. It's hard to make new friends. I got a lot of acquaintances, but that core group of friends, bro, is what it really kind of helped mold me. I'm talking about relationships, friendships, bro. Like I'm 46. I got a homeboy I've been knowing since we've been friends since over 43 years, man. So we've seen each other grow up. You know what I'm saying? We saw how life was. We shared dreams. We sat on porches and talked about what we was going to be doing when we turned 21. So friendships is critical, man. And also, bro, like if you show me 5 broke people, right? You still there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here. I just went on stage and let you have the stage.
So that saying though, if you know with your core group of friends, man, if you hang with 5 broke people that's not motivated, that's not doing nothing in life, and sitting on the corner drinking beer, smoking every single day, and just living just to live, I guarantee if you keep hanging with them long enough, it'll turn into 6. So your friends, man, is really what guides you and molds you and pushes you forward. And, when we look at friends, man, when I hear the word friendship, when I use that friend or I say, man, that's my guy, that's my homie, or that's my dog, right? I automatically think about that accountability part.
That's
like every last one of my homeboys, if I'm doing something wrong or they doing something wrong, we're going to call each other out, right? We're going to have that conversation because as you grow as men, bro, you have to be sitting yourself next to someone that's going to hold you accountable. And I don't care how old you are. Like, I totally agree. I'm almost 50, right? But it's still something to learn from someone else, right? So you got to have that accountability.
I wouldn't want a friend or a homeboy or anybody just to be a yes man for me.
Correct.
Because being a yes person doesn't help you. It's almost like having somebody that's in your corner that want to sugarcoat everything instead of just being real for you. I mean, I'm the type person, if you ask me, I'm going to give it to you the way it is. And there's no black, it's either black or white. There ain't no in between. If you get in your emotions, oh well, don't ask me nothing. But, you know what I'm saying? But, right, I won't get in the return.
It shouldn't be any emotions because we homeboys.
Right.
No, every conversation.
But come on now. Now in today's time, there's more men that's in their emotion than ever before now, Adrian. Come on. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, listen, you should call the answer just that I said, bro, you're right.
Yeah, you do. You have those people, man, but I believe, man, in that core group of friendship, bro, like that emotions get involved, but at the end of the day, that information that they're giving you or their opinion or their, their observation of you or what's going on with you comes from a place of love, man.
Yeah, and also in that, it also, as you get older, it also limits the type of friends that you continue to have around you.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? All right, well, let me ask you this one, Adrian. And we got a couple more things I want to run through you, but if you have any questions throughout this, man, feel free to ask anything you want to ask me. I'm open with it, all right? Mm-hmm. Most importantly, man, I'd like to ask everybody this. How do you, with everything that you got going on in life, with everything that you dealing with family, work life, as well as, you got your podcast and man, you out in the community with your stuff, man. I like that. How do you, and then I know how you work with the juvenile detention center, the time you put in. How do you handle work-life balance? I'm gonna let you have the flow.
Put you first, man. So work-life balance is all about putting you first, man. It's a saying you can't fill from an empty cup, right? So you gotta understand when your cup is empty, what is it gonna take for you to refill? And putting you first, man, means a whole lot. And I think with professionalism and working jobs and things, we tend to become whatever our position, our title is at work. But that doesn't make you who you are. So you got to go back and take that step back and really become who you are. Take care of yourself. Like I don't care, you can work 20, 40 hours a day and ain't even 40 hours in a day. But I guarantee you, if something happened to you where you got to be out, wherever you working at, if you're not
move right on.
If you're not the owner, if something happened to you, good or bad, I guarantee you that organization, that agency, that facility, whatever your chosen profession is going to continue tomorrow, the next day, and the next day.
Hey.
And you forgotten about after 2 or 3 weeks, bro. They don't care what Dr. Woods got going on.
Now you know me. I'm the type person. I used to tell people all the time, man, take care of yourself because you die today. That job gonna be posted today.
Yeah, you used to be Mr. PTO, preparing the others. Hey, Woods, how many hours you got, man? I think I'm sitting on 4.5, man, but I'm gonna leave early Friday. So yeah, you're right, but you gotta take care of yourself, man.
Yeah. And then I was just gonna say, just last week, I bought Rob Thomas, Trainer Rob.
What's his new name?
Trainer Rob.
Trainer.
He's out there today.
Mr. Zero.
He identified the same thing you said, man. Taking care of self, and in this situation, man, I promote people, and I ask this because so many people, so many gamut of life. Some people identify that they are able to do it. How they do it. Some people they still try to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, bro, and I'm gonna say this, man. Listen. So I've been on a spiritual journey also. If you don't take care of yourself, if you don't put your self first, God got a way of slowing you down.
Oh,
and put all your attention on Him and yourself. So mental health shows you I do a lot of research in mental health perspectives, and they give you so many things that you can do. Simple tests, man, and I always go back to this one: is just say no. Yeah,
that's one of the number one things that a lot of people don't use. But I tell people, once you start putting certain things into play, it becomes easier. No is a complete sentence. No is one of the number one healthy ways to get a work-life balance.
Yeah,
take care of yourself. Whatever that self-care is, get out there and self-care yourself. Like for me, I like to go get a haircut, get shaved, because I look fresher.
But listen, I got a question for you. So you mentioned, and you got to think, I'm a podcaster, so I asked a lot of questions too. So you said getting a haircut and getting shaved is a form of your self-care.
Yeah.
But what other nuggets you get from being in that barbershop around men that you've grown to build a relationship and rapport with?
Yeah,
how important is it to go to that shop?
Actually, with Mr. Antonio Brancher, one of the things that we put in place at the detention center was the barbershop talk. So not only was the kids able to come and get a haircut, they was able to understand that they, when they came in there, they was really having real life men conversations, and it's open. You know what I'm saying? But the most important thing that a lot of these young cats was able to see is that when you have these conversations, it's almost like a form of therapy, man, because you're able to get your stuff off your chest, and then when you leave, whatever you heard or whatever you just seen, leave it there.
Before the cameras, before the cell phones, before the video cameras with the cassette tapes, before all these listening devices and everything, man, the barbershop was our therapist.
Yeah.
And it was the first podcast, honestly. Because me as a young person growing up in a small town, going to the barbershop, like that was part of our weekly routine. And I can just sit back and think of some of the conversations that was talking about, right? I'm talking about from how to buy your first car, how to buy a house, how to be an entrepreneur, like what college you was going, like so many conversations derived from that barbershop, bro, that helped mold me and probably you and other adults into who they became, bro. So, hey, shout out to the barbershops, man, all over the world, man.
I got someone that just posted, thank you, Langston. He stated that not only was all that what you're saying is what it was at the barbershop, he stated that plus everyone was listening to. Yeah. Plus it was networking. Networking was going on in the barbershop. Yep. Appreciate that, big dog. So, I mean, it was bigger than what it was. You know, but a lot of things, I mean, the church setting was different. It had different expectations. I mean, you look at old pictures, like, man, you can go to a church, especially a small town church. It might have only held 250 people, but it was standing room only every Sunday, every Wednesday, because that was your social media also. That's where you came to get the information, the latest scoop, the good, the bad, the ugly. But modern day technology has changed a lot of that. But at the same time, you know, I hear people say myself that, oh man, I'm old fashioned. Well, I'm old fashioned because I still like certain things the way it is. I still like to go to that barbershop and have a little peace of mind and talk to the men. But you know, I'm one about my time. I don't want to be there all day. I want to be in the barbershop 3-4 hours. Now you bother my time. My time is valuable now.
Yeah, you can't get that back, right?
No, you can't get that back, Doc. And it's just like service. When you go to a restaurant, and I tell people all the time, I'm not one. I don't care about no ambiance. I don't care. I don't care about all that. I don't want to wait no 2 hours to get in the restaurant for an ambiance. I don't want that.
You want
because at the end of the day, I'm coming to eat, and I don't believe in paying for inconvenient service. I don't believe in that. My time is my money, and my money is my time. But I don't knock the next person. You know what I'm saying? Like my old barber, when I used to go to the barbershop, he used to always say, man, you always in a rush. No, if I make an appointment at 7:30 in the morning, I expect to be in that chair at 7:30 in the morning, and I don't expect to still be walking out at no 9:15, 10 o'clock because you want to continue to run your mouth and talk to everybody, talk on the phone. No, that's a certain level of professionalism. You know what I'm saying? And on top of today, the cost of the barbershop right now, it's ridiculous.
But man, I don't complain about the cost for a haircut, bro. I remember when I was 15, 16 and I first started driving, gas was 83 cents.
I can go cheaper. My uncle owned a gas station. Got signed when it was 23 cents a gallon.
So check this out, right? No matter how much gas, no matter how much that cost of gas go up, right? You gonna stop by that pump.
So yeah, no I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking that. But what I am saying, if you're gonna charge me $50 for a haircut, $40 for a haircut, I don't want to be sitting in that barbershop 3 hours when I got an appointment.
I agree with you on that. I think your time is valuable, right? But man, I have a love for my barbershops. And you got to think, man, I lived all over the country, so I know a lot of barbers, man. So shout out to the barbers in the world, because that was kind of, like you say, man, that was my weekly therapy session with my barber. And I appreciate those conversations.
I just had some barbers on the show a couple of weeks ago, and I was telling them about when I walked in that barbershop, I was able to get in, get out. And I mean, and like my little cousin, he's a barber now, and he said for him, one of the things, because his first barbershop he worked at, man, that him and the guy, they kind of got into it because he was like, hey, man, I'm not here for all this excessive talking and that's not relevant. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm not here for no gossip. He said, now we here to help folks. Let's help them. If we're here to give them haircuts, let's give them the haircuts. But we just sitting here talking over them and wasting time. He said, man, I'm losing money.
I got you. I respect that.
You know, I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, I respect their craft, man. So
yeah,
shout out to the barbers.
Yeah, shout out to the barber. Let me give you this last one, man. Career progression. How is that working for you? What does that look like? How do you look at how you have evolved from the group homes to the detention center to where you are right now in South Carolina?
Hey, so career progression is, man, for me, I'm always looking at what's next, right? I've got the education, I got the experience. It's not about the positions and titles no longer for me. It's about the impact that I make on young people and the people that I serve and sit next to, my coworkers, my employees, or whoever, right? I say a simple prayer every single day, man, and I ask God to remove Adrian Cartledge out of the equation and allow people to see him through me. So that progression, man, I think I've accomplished everything that I set out to accomplish. So my biggest thing now is what's next. So that, I'm a podcaster now. So I want to take this journey. I want to talk to dope people and spread dope information. I want to plant seeds. It's still planting seeds, man. I'm pretty sure you worked with me for a while and you heard my remember your why. You see it? Remember your why, right?
Yeah.
I think over time our why may change, but it all stays the same based on your foundation, based on your background, based on your roots. I'm a farmer, man. I grew up, my grandfather was a farmer. My neighbors was farmers. So I'm going to continue to plant seeds, right? It's just a different bag of seeds right now. Yeah. So that's how I look at progression, man. I intentionally truly believe in everything that we do, man, is for a purpose. So that's how I look at career progression, right? But I want to kind of take a step back, and you said something, and I gotta say it, right? It's on my spirit. You talked about the church. The church was that community, right, for especially African Americans. And you talked about how it kind of changed a little bit, man. And I know you're a pastor, so you know the scripture, you know the verses and everything. But in the good book, it says, train up a child when he was young, and he shall not depart from it, right? Right. And I think that's what we got to recreate, right? So I know coming up in the church, man, my first public speaking gig was doing the Sunday school review, mm-hmm. Right? My first being exposed to higher education came from someone in that church, the first lady or the pastor. My upbringing of having things in order, running meetings and doing everything come from doing things by order in the church, right? So I think, man, we got to get our people back in the church, bro. It's a safe haven, it's a healing spot, but most important, it's a hospital for the sick, right? So we got to get people back into the church, man, and you got to be under someone's covering, man. You got to be under a pastor that's pouring life into your spirit and your soul every single day, bro. So I have to say that, and that's huge with me right now. So shout out to Mount Zion Baptist Church, Bishop Joseph Walker III, man, and Trinity Baptist Church here in South Carolina with Thurman Bowman, man. Those two men of God, man, that I really have to give credit to and helping molding me to who I am and who I'm becoming. Dr. Woods. I don't know. We lost Dr. Woods, man, but I want to shout you guys out, man. This AO with 2eighty3, the podcast. You can check me out on all social media platforms, but I need you to follow me on TikTok, and it's 2eighty3, the number 3, man. Check me out on YouTube and TikTok, but stay tuned. We dropping episodes very soon.
That's what, hey, man, I'm sorry about that. The Wi-Fi stuff went out. Appreciate you to keep talking.
Hey, I know you got that Boost Mobile over there. Hey, but hey, I kept talking, man.
I know I had that happen one time when my fraternity brother was on, and he was like, "Well, I guess this is my time and my soliloquy. I'm about to dive on in this piece."
Hey, I done told people where to find me on social media and all that.
Hey, give it to him again because I'm looking at the feedback also. Tell them where they find you again.
So I'm gonna be on all social media platforms. TikTok primarily, where you kind of get an inside scoop and hear my thoughts and hear me talk more. My TikTok handle is 2eighty EGHITY and the number 3, and that's the same tag on YouTube, man. I'm about to drop my first episode on YouTube, and my first guest of my podcast is my mom. I just really want to, kind of set the tone of what you're going to get from me, man. And like I said, man, I'm just an HBCU grad trying to figure this thing out called life, and come and join me while we connect, reflect, and evolve, bro.
All right, man. Let me ask you this as we get ready to close. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
I do got one question, man. Growing up in Nashville, right? You say West Nashville. West Nashville, that Antioch?
No. West Nashville is it's like going from 33rd Avenue, Charlotte, going all the way to State Street, over there where W.A. Bass Cone High School, going straight down Charlotte, going that way.
Charlotte, okay.
Taking you almost to West End, going back behind over there by Vanderbilt.
Behind Vanderbilt. Okay.
Over there going to Vanderbilt. Behind Vanderbilt, it started taking you towards South Nashville.
Yeah, so I know you grew up in the 50s. Dr. Woods, I lost him again, y'all. But my question for Dr. Woods, guys, was, are all my listeners, right? Why didn't you go to a HBCU, man? So shout out to all the 99 HBCUs across the world. I know Dr. Woods is stationed up in Nashville, Tennessee. So shout out to TSU, Fisk University, and Meharry Medical, man. So keep doing your thing in the HBCU world. We see you. That's it.
All right, y'all. We're going to get ready to wrap this thing up. We've been having technical difficulties throughout the day, but nevertheless, I want to thank Mr. Adrian Cartledge for hanging on, staying on with us through the technical difficulties. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. We really had a good time, good show, very detailed information, and we just going to continue to make things do what it do. Thank you all. And just remember, do what you got to do in order to get where you got to get in life. Sometimes you got to push yourself that extra yard, but no matter what, push yourself, because if you don't push yourself, ain't nobody else gonna push yourself. All right, remember, small victories lead to greater success. I am Dr. Woods, and you have just been hit by the R.A.W. approach. Peace out.